Beth from Twisted Pixie Fibers.
Hello everyone, I'm so happy to be here.
Beth makes really neat tools for hand spinners. We recently featured her on our monthly studio show. There you can learn more about and why she developed
One of my main
tools.
objectives in my business is ergonomics. It has to be comfortable. Nobody wants to do a job that takes this much time and effort and wear yourself out within 10 or 20 minutes. If we have a whole fleece to process, we have a lot of work to do. So
in this video, I thought it would be fun to focus more on how she actually does the combing.
This set comes with a fine, medium, and coarse, what I call tine heads. And these simply screw down to the comb handle. So this piece here is the comb handle. This would be the tine head. And we just figure out what we're combing. If I'm combing a fine wool, then I'm going to use a fine and a medium. If I'm combing a coarse wool, I'll use a medium and a coarse. So you need to understand the diameter of the fiber you're working with. Choose the two tine heads that are going to do that job for you and attach those to your comb handles. And what we're going to do is start loading our fiber onto the smallest comb. The reason for that is that it will get a good grip on our fiber for the first pass through with our combs. So we just load our fiber onto whichever is the finer of the two combs. If I'm using a medium and a coarse, I'm going to load it onto the medium comb. But we're using a fine and a medium, so I'm loading the wool onto the fine comb. And especially if you have if wool that's got crimp, I'm going to come through on my first pass with my medium comb. So instead of using a tiny fine comb, it's going to have a little easier time opening these locks for the first pass through. This Jacob is very dense and sort of spongy. So that's another good reason to use a bit of a wider comb on that first pass.
I love this fleece.
It is beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
And the job of the wool combs is, well, the wool combs have a few different jobs. They are not only for combing the wool, they are also for cleaning out any debris like vegetable matter, hay, seeds, anything that needs to be removed from our wool is going to fall out in the combing process. And then the combs are going to line up the fiber parallel, and that is what we call a worsted prep. And what we're going to have in the end is what we call combed top. It will be in the same shape as roving, and many people confuse the two. They look the same, but they are totally different. Roving is a woolen prep. And what that means is all of the fibers are going all different directions. So anything that's carded, anything that came off of hand carders or a drum carder, all the fibers are going all different directions. So when we add twist to that, we get a fluffy woolen yarn with a halo to it. The combs do the opposite. They line all the fiber up parallel, so that when we spin that, we get a very smooth, even yarn. And we have use for both. That's why we all just must have carders and combs.
That's right. I find that combing process so relaxing. You're putting it on and then swishing through it.
Most of the fiber arts, I think, are just absolute beautiful therapy.
They really are.
So we would generally load up these combs about halfway up the tines with the fiber. It's going to get compacted down into the bottom as we're loading the wool on. And I can stop here and we can move ahead with it.
Okay.
So before you begin the combing process, you want to, since it's compacted down in the bottom, you want to just spread the wool out on the combs a little bit and lighten it up so it's not all bogged down in the bottom. And then there are 3 ways to handle the combs. What we want to do is take all of this wool and put it and comb it onto this comb. So we want all of this wool inevitably off of this comb and onto this one. So this is our medium comb. We'll come through here just with the tips. We don't want to dig too deeply in there. We'll never get through it. So just start out at the tips. And this is the first way that you can use your combs manually. If you don't have a table that you can clamp it to, for instance, if you just wanted to sit at the couch and watch TV or something while you're combing, you could certainly do it manually like this without the use of the case at all or the stationary blocks. Another way to use the combs is to peg the loaded comb down stationary, and you can then take your empty comb and comb through horizontally this way. You can also switch hands, so it doesn't matter if you're left-handed, right-handed, maybe you get, just want to go back and forth between your hands. The third way, and what I think personally is the fastest way, is to peg down my empty comb. And because I dull the tips on the tines, you can balance the comb with your fingertips. So now both of my wrists are straight. I'm not sitting crooked or having to twist my body or be uncomfortable. I can simply offload this wool onto that comb, and this is the process that makes it really fast.
Yeah.
I can flip it over. Now, as we're combing, it obviously pushes the wool this way, so I'm going to switch hands. I'm going to turn the comb over, and again, just balance with my fingertips and keep combing until I've gotten as much wool off of the comb as is going to come off. And what's going to be left on the comb on the back side will be considered waste at this point, because that's also what's back here now is the hay and the vegetable matter that we're wanting to take out anyway. All of that, any shortcuts or second cuts or neps, any noils, anything like that, is going to be kept to the back side of the comb, and it won't be incorporated into our finished comb top. Okay, so, and this won't be waste. We'll comb through it again. I keep a pile of waste, and then I go through it all again, and I'll get half as much again combed out of that. So now we have gone through our first pass with our medium comb, and now our wool is pretty opened up, and we've already gotten some of the unwanted bits out. Now the second pass, I'm going onto my fine comb. So now it's really going to get in there and with a finer comb and really fluff it up and pull out anything else that we don't want. Generally, if the fleece is in decent condition and it's not absolutely full of VM or cotted or any other issues, usually this second pass is the last one that I'll need. Okay. Now when we're ready, if we want to see if we're finished, we just spread the wool out on the comb again, and I hold it up to a light source where you can see through it. And as long as I can see that all the vegetable matter is out and I'm happy with it, if I'm happy, I'm ready to diz it off. If it needs to go another pass, then we do another pass. But it looks like this looks just fine. Now, what comes with these are called, I call them the Pixie Claws. And the Pixie is the nickname that my mother gave me as a child, and the fiber community would not let that go. So they would not call me Beth. So and the twisted is just simply a yarn reference. So this is the Pixie Diz and Threader. This is a diz this is also my original design. It has 4 different hole sizes depending on what you're going to spin. So what are you spinning, Michelle? Are you spinning fine? Are you spinning
I'm still spinning
bulky?
fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I were going to do a bulky yarn, I would pull it through a larger hole, but for what Michelle is doing, we're going to pull it through the small one. So this is a little threader. It's just a little threader hook. And we have the concave side going toward the wool. We just put the little threader through the hole and pick up a little bit of fiber and set that aside. And then we're going to diz the wool off of the combs.
Isn't that satisfying?
Yeah.
You start pulling it out.
Yes, it is so satisfying. And it's so neat. It shows when, like, parents that have their kids, when I get to this part in a demonstration, the kids will go, wow. That's the magic part. This is the magic part, where a fiber that was started off with a 2-inch staple length is now turning into one long consistent strand. And this is ready to go to our spinning wheels.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, once we have this pulled off, it's going to be the same shape as what most people understand as roving, but it's actually combed top because all the fiber is lined up parallel, and this is our worsted prep. And this is what we have in the end. And we roll this up. I think Michelle calls it a nest.
Yeah.
Lots of spinners call it a nest. I was always told it was a honey bun.
A honey
Which
bun.
it does kind of look like a honey bun,
like
a nice pastry.
Very light and fluffy.
So not only can you comb any type of wool with one set of combs, you can also set any 2 of these tine heads together side by side and use them as a blending hackle. So if you want to blend, I know that you use a lot of silk, or you blend silk in. So in that case, you would take your comb top and you would put a layer down across both combs, and then you add another layer of silk across both, and you just keep alternating back and forth. Or if you want to make variegated different colored yarns, you can put one color down and put another color on top. So for combining anything or blending wools for your own reasons, you just layer them up, and then you do the same thing with the diz and threader and pull it off. So it actually functions also as a blending hackle. And the whole set, all of these, the tine heads go into the pocket here. The set comes with the diz and the threader. And if we can kind of give a little quick demonstration of
Oh, I put your screwdriver.
how the case, that's okay. I think we can do without it. Well, maybe
Oh,
not.
you got it if you take the combs off.
Anyway, all the tine heads go into the pocket here, just like this. All the tine heads lay in here, and then you're left with your handles and your stationary pegs at your diz and threader store right in here. And the case closes on the tines, and then you will put your stationary pegs. There's a hole in each side of the case for your stationary pegs, and then you put your handle on the pegs, both handles on the pegs, and then there is a leather strap that comes through the comb handles themselves, if you can imagine that. And then the handles themselves are the handle for the case. So all the parts and pieces go together to create the portable carrying case. And that's how the combs work.